It's the end of the week, and so it's time to take out the trash. Okay, this is the garbage people of the week, and I've got one. This is a current story, but it feels like a bit of a throwback. We had a lot of garbage people of this sort last year. It's possible, I didn't check, but it's possible this person might have been one last year. We think, Marissa? They were? Okay, well, they're coming back. So mine is Lynn Gilles. Lynn Gilles, you can probably tell from the photo, has an issue with masks. But that's not the issue. At this point in America, just being an anti-masker by itself isn't enough to get you put in the garbage can. You need to go above and beyond, and she in fact did. But before we get to the new part of this, we want to catch you up. She had gone into a Starbucks and didn't want to wear a mask, even though she knew going in that she would have to. She wanted to create a public spectacle of herself, and so she did. Now, when this individual, Lenin, asked her to, she decided to post on Facebook a photo of him with me, Lenin misspelled from Starbucks, who refused to serve me because I'm not wearing a mask. Next time I will wait for cops and bring a medical exemption, which is definitely more convenient than just going in with a mask on or getting it delivered or something like that. But anyway, as a result of her making this big viral Facebook thing attacking Lenin, people rallied to the barista support. An individual named Matt Cowan started a GoFundMe to tip him. Originally, they wanted to raise $1,000. They raised $105,000 for that barista, which is crazy, but not as crazy as what happened next, which is that individual, the woman who didn't want to wear a mask and put his picture online, said that she wanted half of the GoFundMe money. She asserted that there had been discrimination, claiming she did not have to wear masks because she received a medical exemption from a chiropractor. I don't know what that has to do with getting half of money that was raised for a person, but you should understand that in the meantime, because that happened last year, the Starbucks thing. In the meantime, her Facebook account indicates she remains a staunch opponent of mask wearing. A video from August showed her getting into a separate spat with employees at Sprouts Farmers Market because she refused to wear one. And bear in mind, she's still making videos of her going and not wearing a mask so she can argue with working class Americans, which is awesome. Now, the individual who is being sued is the one who raised the money, Matt Cowan. He said that she made a public Facebook post that went viral, and I'm not responsible for whatever anybody else sends to her. Everything was done in a philanthropic sense, and I used publicly available information to populate my GoFundMe. Because in her lawsuit, and she is suing for half of that money, she says that she received death threats, which is obviously awful, but I don't see how Matt Cowan produced that. And he says that she is saying that he targeted her by having a photo of her on the GoFundMe. Just bear in mind, she posted on social media about this first. She made it a big public thing before he made it a public thing. And again, I don't have any idea what any of this has to do with her being entitled to half of the money that was raised. So you could have avoided all of this by just wearing a mask, but if you're not gonna do that, you don't get 50 grand, and thus garbage can.
Right, the best, what's the best? What do you think is the best part of that story? Because there is an answer.
Oh, I don't know, it's all pretty similar. What do you think is the standout?
The best part of that story is that she got a respiratory disease medical exemption from her chiropractor.
That's great. I completely skipped over that.
I'm gonna crack your bones.
Amazing.
It's like, oh, I got my military exemption from a GI Joe doll. Like what? That doesn't make any sense. Like my leg hurts and I totally got that information from a neurosurgeon. Like, no, that's not the person in charge of that. I don't think you went to your chiropractor because your chiropractor is exactly the kind of medical professional. Not in general, chiropractors do that, but you probably knew your chiropractor and were like, can you please write me an exemption? Mm-hmm. It's like the equivalent of weed doctors in 2004, where you'd be like, hey, can you just tell people I'm stressed so I can get a freaking weed card and buy this eighth? Like that's what it is. You do not have a real medical exemption. That type of medical exemption does not exist and definitely does not mandate that location. And everyone's still doing this because they're so insulated on their social media feeds. It does not mandate that establishment has to give you service.
Yeah,
they don't. This is not what they meant when they said ADA compliant.
just terrible. Just
so good.
Like, it's a crazy amount of money in any event, but it was produced. People gave it. It's not yours. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she needs the money because of her chiropractor bills. I don't know. I don't know. Are they expensive? Do you ever get your lung cracked? They like put the elbow in and then they crack the lung. It really helps. Helps me breathe freely.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.